Today, we're going to be talking about the big kahuna, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to be talking about how to get 100 live viewers on your Facebook live stream or your YouTube live stream. But I don't want you to get all bent out of shape about this number, right? Like if you're at 10 viewers right now, then let's get you to 20 viewers. And if you're at 20, then let's get you to 60. And if you're at 60, then yes, my friend, you should definitely be looking to get to 100 live viewers. And I'm going to be sharing with you 7 big secrets that have worked for me, and I'm going to be showing you some examples. So I hope that you will stick around, ladies and gentlemen. It's the business of live video. Welcome to the show. I'm Owen Video. I'm Owen Video. And you can give me 5. That's right. Type 5 into the comment section now. If you're new, type new in the comment section so that I can come back later after the show's over and I can say hi and learn where you're from. I'm super glad that you joined us today, and you just saw me sort of mess up on my thing, because if it's not all, we practice before the show, but if it's not all sort of like rhythmically flowing, I tend to kind of like mess up on my lips. But if you're brand new here or you're watching this on the replay, you might not want to sit. You might want to just jump right into the content. And if that's you, then you can go ahead and skip to the 10-minute mark. That's usually when I start, getting right into the content. It might be at the 15-minute mark, but, skip ahead. Otherwise, I hope that you'll stick around because I'm going to welcome our live audience kind of logging in. I see so many of you logging in right now, and it is good to see you here. And we are also going to be giving away some free gear. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to be giving away this month this Rode PodMic cardioid microphone. This microphone is perfect for live streaming from a desk or hosting a video podcast. It comes with its own desktop stand that can attach virtually to its anywhere that you want to put it. It's normally $100 online, but you can get this mic for free. All you have to do is go start an account with Restream at epiclivevideo.com. That's epiclivevideo.com, and Restream is the software that I'm using right now to make all these magic things happen. You're seeing lots of pictures and you're seeing camera angles and all that kind of cool stuff. Well, all of that is done using Restream, and you can get started with Restream for free. When you do, you'll get access to tons of these cool features. It works with all the major softwares, but the big thing about Restream, the big kahuna thing about Restream, is it can simultaneously stream to up to 250 websites, platforms, all at the same time. You can even go live on your Facebook page, your Facebook profile, and inside 3 Facebook groups, all at the same time. Plus, when you get started with Restream, you get access to this broadcast studio where you have, added features like being able to schedule events. You can invite guests and they can share their screen. In fact, you can share your screen and they can share their screen. Everybody gets to share screens. You get these overlay graphics. You get tons of really cool features. Plus, you get these in-depth analytics that will help you to know what's working and not working on your show. So you can get started at Restream for free. That's right. There's no cost to get started with the minimal features, which means that you could broadcast on Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn all at the same time. You could do webinars, and all that's free. It costs you nothing. There's some other features that you can upgrade to, but even so, it's like $15 a month. It's a great value. You can get started for free at epiclivevideo.com. Just go to epiclivevideo.com, and I hope that you will mention that you heard it from Owen Video. Okay, let's welcome those of you who are deciding to watch us today on the socials. Super glad that you're here for our topic, which is going to be how to get 100 live viewers. Wayne Gouger is saying he is new here. Is it Gauger? Want to say Rob Reese is logging in. It says Reestresm is awesome. I like Reestresm too, my man. Of course, that's a little bit of typo, but I'm only calling you out, Rob Reese, because I love you. Kathy Fit is here. She's signing up. I love when Kathy Fit joins us. One of my favorite people to see in the stream. We've got Charlie Thayer logging in. We've got Michael Neal logging in. Good to see you. John Wrigley is saying, how are you doing today? Well, I'm good. I'm good. I actually just got back from a trip to Disneyland with the fam, and that was a lot of fun. I don't know if you guys are Disneyland fans, but we went with a YouTube family, the Disney Insiders, who hosted us. We had an amazing time. Ramunos is logging in, and he's saying 9 viewers. Well, no, Ramunos, we have 34 viewers on this show right now. You're only seeing the viewers that are logging in to Facebook. And that's exactly why I'm covering this topic today, because we're going to be talking about how to get 100 live stream viewers. I'm going to show you what has worked in the past, and I'm going to show you how to open up your perspective so that you're not making comments that could lead to embarrassing moments. Super glad that you're here, Ramunas. Mazi Izioki is logging in. Super glad to see you here. Flies in. John Wrigley is saying, I am from Camp Verde, Arizona. Thanks so much for giving us your location. I'm going to order you a pizza, sir, from Domino's new thing. Heidi Loney is logging in. Let's Talk Stroke is logging in. Good to see you guys here. In fact, I got a question for you today. Here's my question is, how do you get more viewers, or generally, how do you grow your live stream? You know, this is for those of you that set goals. You know what I mean? Like, what is your goal for your live stream, right? Like, I'd love to hear from you in this. Katie Simpson, Lynn George logging in. Tony Jacobson saying, I learned something new from every one of your live streams. Tony Jacobson, Fwop, Air 5 to you, my friend. Thank you so much. My question is, how do you get more viewers or grow your live stream? What are some of the strategies that you guys use? You know, are you trying to get more live, more watch time? What are the big things that move the needle for you? I would love to talk about them today. Share your ideas in the comment section below. Chris Peterson is saying, hey, I'll see you at Vid Summit tomorrow. Yes, you will, sir. And I can't wait to be there with you. It's going to be a great show. And that's one of the big ones that we look forward to all year. So let's talk about our show topic today, which is going to be how to get 100 live viewers on your live stream show. And this is a pretty important topic because I think for a lot of you, 100 viewers seems way off base. It seems way, far away. And I want to open this whole idea up to you that whether your next goal is 30 live viewers or maybe it's 100 live viewers, there are simple, small steps that you can add into your show one piece at a time in order to get to that level that you want to get to. See, you've got to find some trends here, and so your first goal should be like, can I intentionally make a change that gives me a measurable result? Right? That's the thing. And, an example that I kind of go to all the time, for those of you guys know, I'm actively beating cancer. I'm not fighting cancer. I'm beating cancer all the time. In fact, Heidi Loney is saying, don't forget your juicer. She knows that I take my juicer on trips with me. I'm flying this time, so I can't take it with me. But I juice a lot because I'm fighting cancer, and I measure different things like my heart rate, my respiration, and I measure these things. Why? So that I can try and improve them, right? Maybe you've heard that which gets measured gets improved. And we're going to talk a little bit about what you should be measuring. But I want to first get you into the mindset where if you measure, you will start to see improvements. And if you're not seeing improvements, you're measuring the wrong things. Remember, it's never like a bad thing. It's never like, oh, I did this thing and didn't work. For example, my heart rate. Like I trying to lower my heart rate before bed. There's a whole like thing behind that. So I've been listening to spa music. I have been listening to spa music, and I like it. I like spa music. I mean, it's not like I'm jamming out to spa music, but it's not making a difference in my numbers. So I can continue to do that or not, right? It's the same thing with your live stream. Okay. When you're on the journey to get 100 live stream viewers, you've got to be thinking, okay, what am I going to do in order to get there? And believe me, friends, you can get there. Let me show you some of our past successes. This is one of our live streams. Maybe you guys remember this show, but this one episode, Mark, I see you and thank you so much for all of those comments. 242 live stream viewers, one episode. Now, as I'm going to show you, I'm going to actually show you other episodes where we have doubled this. Well, I said duplicated this over and over again, right? Because it's one thing to get the result. It's one thing to be able to duplicate the result. But we also got 269 people engaged with 1.7 thousand comments, okay? So getting 100 people on a live stream at one time is not impossible. Okay, and we're going to talk about how we did this. Let's take a look at another example. I'm going to show you a few more. I'm going to show you folks multiple examples of how we got over 100 live viewers. Okay, this one got 204 live viewers. But notice the comments. The comments are a little bit different. It's 168 comments and 163 reactions. Because at this time, we were measuring the success differently. So what we're going to be going into today is what you should be measuring and what you should be looking at to get 100 live viewers on your channel. I've got seven big points that I want to go with you and go through with you. And if you've got questions, if you want to dig into a strategy, if you want to challenge me on a strategy, then ask your question in the comment section below. And I would encourage you to tag someone right now that you know that is live streaming. We'd love to have them. We'd love to have them here. Okay, let's talk about how to get 100 live viewers on your show. And the first thing I want to talk about is to create a tracker. Okay, create an actual tracker. And here's an example of our tracker from last year. And you could see that we have sort of like the title of our show. Then we denote if it's a guest. We have an ROS, which means a run of show, and that's what we link to. We always have a script of some kind for our shows. That's what we link out to is our ROS. When the show aired, a link to the Facebook post, and the peak live viewers. Now, how do you know the peak live viewers? How do you know when well, Restream gives you that number. Otherwise, you have to kind of just see it, right? Right now, I can see that we have 32 live viewers. So good to have you here. I think we've peaked at like 40 today, maybe 42. But I'd have to just kind of remember that. Now, Facebook will give you a number and YouTube will give you a number. But when you're multicasting as we are right now, you want a number from all the different places where you're streaming from. So the best way to do that is to use the Restream software, which I'm using right now, and you can use it for free. It will tell you what your peak concurrent viewers were. Like Consistent Ash is telling me that she's at concurrent. I've had 22 at peak, which I was super happy with for a small creator. Absolutely a great point. And, here's the thing is that when you get to 100 live viewers, there's like two ways to look at it. It's like, how long did you keep that 100? Like, did you get to 100 once? That's the big thing. And if you did, could you get a photo of it? Like I try to screenshot it. That's why I try to have like screenshot software is ready to go. But then the other part of that is, do you average 100 live viewers? Okay. My goal for you guys today is that you hit 100 once. Okay. And the first thing I think you need to do is you need to start tracking it with your own homemade tracker. Now, you can also measure engagement and watch time and some other things. I don't think you need to measure everything. Okay. You just need to measure the right things, and we'll talk about what those are. Lead with Jim, logging in. Good to have you here, buddy. We'll answer all of those questions. So, Carlos, make sure to get those lined up in our queue here. Now, here's another example from another show. But again, we still had a tracker for this show. Like, how many of you guys, be honest, how many of you guys have a tracker at all? Yes or no? Tell me in the comment section. Be honest. Because my guess is that probably, probably you don't. You're not tracking. But on this one, we were tracking our peak live viewers. And look at our peak live viewers here. Okay, 121, 101, 124, 172, 110, 204. Okay. You see all that variety of over 100 live viewers. Okay, so you can do this. But look at all the non-100. Look at that, 68, 42, 81, 72, 96, we got close, 50, 48. So you can really see like these peaks, right? And we're going to talk about what we discovered because we were tracking. Okay, so the first thing you need to do is start a tracker. Just go to googlesheets.com and let's talk about what you should be tracking here. Oh, wait a minute. Hang on. You should be tracking your live viewers, your post-show views. You should track your links, although Restream actually does that for you now. You should be tracking your comments or engagement. You should be tracking your watch time, and you should be tracking CTR. Now, I do want to throw this in here. What we do is we measure all of that once the show's over, but then for CTR and for CTR and for views, so post-show views. Right now, there's 34 people watching, and we're so glad to have you here. Once the show is over, we're going to have a certain amount of views on YouTube and on Facebook from our pages. That's the ones I'm measuring. So I want to write those down now, and I want to check back in a week when I do next week's show and see how many views did this show that you're watching this week, does it get in 1 week? So how many does it get by next week? And that way on each line, I can see like how many views it got when it was over and then how many views it got a week later at the same time. And that's where I stopped the tracking, okay, in terms of the views and stuff. But I think that that's a big number to track. Okay, so the next point in how to get 100 live viewers is to set goals. Let's go back to that sheet again. I'm showing you my example. Notice these first couple of numbers, 73, 67, 55. Well, those numbers are all fine as I've written here, okay? But then the 123 and the 242, well, those are exceptional numbers. And unfortunately, what they've done is they remind us of the size of the marketplace. Here's what I'm getting at is when you set your goals, you need to set reasonable, sort of like attainable goals. Now, they should be hard enough to where you haven't done it before. Like if you're already kind of getting 30, right? Like Consistent Ash has been getting 30-ish. Well, I'd say you said 22. So round up to 25, let's say 30. I wouldn't say 30 is a big enough goal for you. I'd say 40. You're going to get 40. What you're going to try to do is double your live stream viewers. And in trying to double your live stream viewers, which is reasonable at 25, but at 100, if you're already getting 100 live viewers, and there are people that watch this show, the Disney insiders watch this show, they're already getting 100 to 150 viewers on an episode. Is doubling reasonable at that amount? I would say no. At that point, you want to set different goals. So as you're setting these goals, you want to really know what the marketplace will bear. And to do that, you have to be doing your competitive research. You have to be going and looking at other live streamers who are going live on Facebook and seeing what they're getting, right? Or go and look at live streamers who are live streaming on YouTube and look what their live streamers are peaking at. And that gives you a sense of what the big goal for you might be, right? Like someday you could get 242. So by tracking your numbers and looking at your numbers, you can be setting reasonable goals, right? So like, we were getting somewhere around 70 views on a good show. And so we decided our goal would be 100 views. And then what did we do? We did an episode where I put a number in it and we got 123 live viewers. The next show kind of flopped. High paying customers wasn't, notice how customers and audience, how to interview a guest. They're just like live stream topics. But then these are kind of like how to get this measurable thing. Well, these are business topics. These are more live stream topics. Anyway, that's what helps you to set your goals. It helps you to also like look at the kind of content that's working on your channel. Okay. So that's the second big thing is you need to set goals so that you slowly climb your way to the top. I mean, think about my heart rate, right? I don't want it to just go from like a 90, resting heart rate to a 60. That could be dangerous. You know what I mean? I want to get there as fast as possible, but we want to do it. We want to do it the right way. Okay. So let's talk about tip number 3, which is you need to pre-schedule your live streams. And this is a pretty big one for me because when you pre-schedule your live stream, you're actually now creating a piece of content. This is what you guys aren't thinking about. You're thinking that the content is going to be the live stream, but the content is actually the pre-scheduled post. They're one and the same. And if you can get that out early, then you're in a really, really good spot. So let's take a look at some examples of what that might look like. So for example, inside of Restream, when you go and you log in, you can click Stream with Studio and schedule your event. I underlined the wrong thing. You need to schedule your event. It threw me off there for a second. I was like, what are the slides wrong? But you're going to want to click Schedule Event. And then when you schedule your event, it gives you 3 options. Now, I want you guys to really pay attention to these 3 options because these are huge, right? These 3 options are Stream with Studio. That's exactly what I'm doing right now. I'm going live and I'm using the studio and I'm clicking back and forth and doing all sorts of fun stuff. Okay. But I can also stream with an encoder. Now, I guess technically that's what I'm doing because I'm streaming with an encoder. But that's where you stream with vMix, OBS, or Zoom, which obviously enhances what you're able to do. But you can also schedule a video file. Wow. What that means is you can take a pre-recorded video like a YouTube video, or you could do your live stream in a group, record it, and then take that recording and then upload it so that it schedules and goes out at a specific time using Restream. That's pretty fantastic. That is a pretty fantastic feature. Now, why would you do that? There's a lot of different ways that you would want to do that. But if you don't get a lot of live viewership when you go on your page or your profile, but you get a lot in your group, then that might be a big reason to look at doing it that way. So you could schedule a video file, which is really important. Either way, when you schedule these events, okay, then a post actually goes up on Facebook like this, or it will go up on YouTube, or it goes up on LinkedIn. And this gives you a place to engage with your audience. So here's what I recommend. I'm reading Heidi's comments right now. Heidi's saying that she uses another software, but her husband uses Restream. I think it's time for her to switch. Switch. Come on, guys, in the comments. Switch. Today's the day, Heidi. Turn over a new leaf. We'd love to see you switch to, and you might even win that microphone. I want you guys to create, when you pre-schedule the post, consider writing a description designed to engage with people throughout the week by asking questions, okay? Another part of that is going into the comment section and tagging people, okay? This is where I really want you guys thinking in a new way. So you pre-schedule the post and you ask a question like, how do you grow your live stream show? And then it posts on Facebook just like this. Then you go into the comment section, and I love seeing the switch. Then you guys go into the comment section and you start tagging people. You say, I'm reading Mouse Ears comments, Mouse Ears and Magic. Yes, had a great time at Disney. you go into the post and into the comment section, you start tagging people and you say, I want to ask some of my friends this question. You never tag them first. You never just like at Stephen Dale, at Heidi Loney, at Kathy Fit. You never do that. You just go, I want to ask a few of my friends this same question because I know they have a lot of experience and would love, could offer a lot of value here. So I want to ask at Heidi Loney, at Stephen Dale, at Kathy Fit, at Consistent Ash, at Lead with Jim, right? And then maybe skip a line. What do you think is your best blah, 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 blah. So now you've tagged like 5 people. I do this on LinkedIn all the time. LinkedIn's not my big platform. I'm trying to grow it. So I'm trying to get engagement there. But you ask a question in the comment, in the upper description. And then in the comments, you kind of like restate it, re-ask it again, but you tag certain people. And I would do that 2 different ways. Number 1, tagging people that you know are active on that platform. Okay. And then number 2, tagging new followers, new friends, new clients. Tagging new friends, new followers, new clients. Okay. You say, hey, I wanted to welcome my new followers. It's a thanks. Welcome to the community. I try not to say audience, like welcome to the community where we try to help each other grow and become better people. Let me ask you, how do you X, Y, Z? Would love to hear from my new followers at Jim, at Sally, at blah, 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 blah. And you do that. Now, don't overdo that, but do that on your page. Do that on the page you're trying to grow. Okay? Do that on the page that you're trying to grow because pre-scheduling is the trick to getting more viewers. When you pre-schedule and people engage with the post, then you go live, they will get an alert on their phone. Many of them will actually hit the get alerts or subscribe button. So now you're going to get them for future episodes as well. Okay. So pre-schedule every single live stream that you're doing and try to create engagement on the post throughout the week. You can tag people in the comments. There's a lot of stuff that you can do. Kathy Simpson saying great ideas. Thank you, Kathy Simpson. Fwop. Great to hear from you there. Let's continue on with the content. Next, tip number 4 to get 100 live viewers is change your titles. Oh, man, hallelujah. This is a big one. I think that a lot of you guys, you put the value of the title is sort of like this last minute thing where you're like, oh, I need a title, or oh, I need to do a thing. By the way, if you're enjoying this content, if this is good content, smash the like button for me. Just tap it a whole bunch of times. Make all the hearts go up. That would be rad, especially if you're watching on YouTube. We could really use the algorithm signals there. But when you plan a live stream, you think a lot about what your offer is going to be. You think about what you're going to talk about, but you don't think about what you're going to title it so that people see it. And you have to remember that when you pre-schedule an event using Restream or another godforsaken software, that title goes out on a YouTube video. Okay. That also a thumbnail. I'm not going to talk about thumbnail today, but that title is what people see. Okay. When they open up their phone. And if your title is descriptive rather than emotional, if your title resonates, like it doesn't have like appeal or it doesn't pop, then you find yourself getting fewer and fewer viewers because your title just doesn't look interesting. Okay. This is something that we're continuing to play with all the time because hopefully like we pre-scheduled our event. So now we have more people subscribing, more people liking. Okay. But then when we go live, are the topics we're covering, not even the topics, the way we present them, is that resonating? Let's take a look at some examples. Now, first of all, this is really easy to do inside of Restream. So when you log into your Restream account, you can see all of your pre-scheduled events over here on the right-hand side. And then down below, you can see for each event, like this is a picture of today's event, you can see all the different platforms that we're going to be broadcasting to. So we're going to be on, 2 different YouTube channels, a couple different Facebook profiles and whatnot. When you click on edit the event, okay, when you click on those social media buttons, it now pops up all the different channels and a big edit button. So you can edit the title individually for YouTube and individually for Facebook. This is a big deal. This is a really big deal. Because, for example, we're on two different YouTube pages right now, the Restream page and the Restream YouTube channel, the Owen Video YouTube channel. Now, we talk to our audiences differently. So we have it titled one way for the Restream audience, but we have it titled slightly differently for the Owen Video audience, you see? And that's important. Now, the same is true for my Facebook profile. Like, my Facebook personal profile is my personal relationships, but a lot of them are in video and in entrepreneurialism, so I want them to see this. That being said, I don't want to like over promote to that list. So I tend to write something about cancer, or I write something about what we've been doing, like we just got back from Disneyland. So I might say something like, hey, it's Monday and I'm back from Disneyland, ready to do another live stream where I'm going to talk about XYZ. And that way my friends and family aren't turned off by the post. You know, oh, Owen's just using this to post, okay, to get views or whatever. But let's take a look at how I changed that title. So this one would be specifically for the Owen Video YouTube page. And the title was How to Easily and Consistently Get 100 Facebook Live Stream Viewers. Blah, 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 blah. It's a mouthful. And it sounds good on the phone. You know, like I'm talking to Carlos and I'm like, hey, call it this, how to easily and consistently get 100 live stream viewers. But then when it's written out, it's just too many characters. And so what we want to do is make a better title. And so after I edited, I changed it to How I Get 100 Live Viewers on Facebook Live and YouTube Live. And not only does it fit a little bit more succinctly, right? It's easier to say. I also changed the description a little bit for my personal YouTube channel, which is, okay, I'm done. Here's all the secrets inside one episode, so buckle in, cowboy, or whatever. I just made it sound, you know, a little bit more like me. And so what you can do is you go and you set up your pre-scheduled event. And then once it's pre-scheduled, you go back and you change titles. I do this right before the show, right? So we kind of title it one thing for the pre-schedule. And then when we go live, we have it titled another thing. And that way, when we go live, people that get alerts, they get a different alert. Okay. It's really kind of brilliant. Okay. If you think about it, but a big note here. Okay. I'm going to take a drink of water. I can actually feel myself dehydrating as I'm sharing all this gold with you. Right. But quick note about Facebook is Facebook has a title, but titles don't show up in the news feed. It's only the descriptions. Okay. So you've got to put the title in the first line of the description as well. Okay. So that's really important. That's a really important sort of, nuance of Facebook. I can see that we have some questions right now, or at least some comments that I kind of want to go to. So Katie Simpson is saying, I think my titles are amazing, but I'm not sure if others think so too. It's a great point. The only way you're going to get to know is by changing them and testing them. In fact, you're going to see that kind of come up. Like, you've got to change it up a little bit. Okay. You got to see if other things work or work better. Okay. So I would definitely say that that's the case. Katie is also asking, do you repeat the title in the description in case the title doesn't show up on some channels? No, I do not. I leverage the thumbnail in that very rare occasion. So, I really focus on that first line of the Facebook description, of the Facebook sort of, caption area, whatever you want to call it. We call it posting copy, right? But like what people see in the newsfeed, they see like an image or your thumbnail, and then they see this posting copy that you wrote. That posting copy, that first line should really be solid, okay? And that's really important. Mouse Ears is saying, I've noticed that Restream offers that, but I wasn't sure if it was something important. If I'm just streaming to one channel to different, if I'm just streaming to one channel to different platforms, does it matter? You know, yes. Let me reframe so the audience knows we're talking about titles here. Changing the title. If I'm only on one title, does it matter? Yes, I would be changing up the way you structure your titles in a rotating like manner to find out which titles work best, because some titles, guys, work great. We're talking about YouTube. Some titles work great when it's a 6-minute video. That same title on a 30-minute video or a 60-minute video would not perform as well. And you got to think about the way that you are watching YouTube, right? Because you probably watch it the way I do. I look at a title and a thumbnail and go, oh, do I want to watch that? And then immediately after that, I look at the time code and I see how long it is. How many of you guys look at the time code when you're watching a video on YouTube and you see how long it is? It's like, oh, this is a 30-minute video. I'm not going to watch this right now. You know, that's a big part of it. And so in today's show, we put the words full training at the end of it because we wanted people to know that this is going to be a meaty, they're going to see like 60 minutes, you know, or 59 minutes, however long we go today. But it's an hour show. So I want them to know that they're going to, that's what they're getting into. And the title should sort of reflect that. So definitely some things to think about. Now, Krister Bovin, my good friend from overseas, is saying, I use Jarvis for titles now. That's not bad, Chris. I would love to hear about your results in the group. I would love to see what you're getting. I like Jarvis. I think Jarvis is cool. I would not let Jarvis title things for me. I want to title things, but my titles are very like gut felt. Like my team knows, because like I have a team of 4 channel managers, and they know I want to have a good sense of the title. Like I want the title to be, I don't use a lot of keywords, you know. I use a lot of like what I know is working on YouTube right now, or what I know is working on Facebook right now. Okay. So just kind of keep those things in mind as you're continuing to experiment with your titles and get better results from your live stream. So the way that you test that, by the way, is you test that by your first sort of 5 minutes on the air. You know, like how many people logged in 10 seconds after you were live? That's a good indication that your title was working. Even if they logged off, if they logged on, your title was working. Okay, so that's something to think about. All right, so you want to make sure to change your title and you know, have a title ready for when you pre-schedule it, because you're talking to people a week early, right? But then be willing to change the title when you go live. You can do that very easy in Restream. And you also want to change your titles for Facebook and for Twitter. Again, these are all things that you can do one small step at a time. Carlos knows sometimes we get a good title. It's good enough, you know, where like putting the, right, we just go with it. But then there's days like today where I'm like, I think we could do better. And so we strive to do a little bit better. Okay, now, big one here, guys. If you want to get 100 live stream viewers on your live stream show, then you need to invite guests. And I'll tell you, almost every time, I could go back into my tracker here. Let's see what we have here. Let me find the trackers again. So many times that we've had 100 live viewers. 242, that was a guest. I don't know. Yeah, Manessa was a guest here. We got 100 live viewers. There was no guest there. What about here? Instagram. Well, this whole show I did with a guest. So we had a guest host. So we had the power of 2 different audiences. And that's the big thing that I wanted to kind of share with you, because like my show is largely like a solo show, because getting guests that have to be here live and can perform live it's a challenging thing. I mean, there's I don't want to sound rude, but like we've been in this game for a while, right? So we can't just like have I can't just like have my neighbor on. Where I think there's some of you that you could have sort of a friend on, or somebody without much influence in the social space, and you'd have a great show. Okay. For us, we have to have a certain quality of guests, certain caliber of guests, because we are Restream, right? Like we are a fantastic brand, and our guests need to reflect that. So finding that caliber of person on a weekly basis can be very, very challenging. Although we are going to be bringing on guests more in the future, we're just not going to do it every single week. And so the guest brings in their audience, just like Chris is saying. The guest brings in their own audience, whether it's 10 or 15 or 150, and this will bring your numbers up. Okay. And that's what it's all about here. It's all about getting your numbers up. So what if, you do a solo show, you're not used to having a guest, you're trying some title things, you're getting 10 more viewers. Now you're ready to try the guest thing. Let's just try that once or twice. And I never believe in trying anything once. It's like, do it once, and if it works, duplicate it. And if it didn't work, do it again and try to duplicate it. After that third time, I'm kind of like, either I'm sold on it or I'm not. Okay. So the guest brings their own audience in. This is kind of funny because they both have blue hair, but that had nothing to do with it, because these shows were actually very like weeks apart. But we had Fallon Zoe, who I just love to death. She's just fantastic. And I've had her on multiple times, and each time we have almost 300 live viewers. This case, we got to 242. But she has influence. What's up, SF Eagle in the house? Good to see you. Because she's an influencer. Okay. What does that mean? It means that she has people that follow her. She has an email list. It's the same with Manessa Konecki here. Manessa's awesome. That show got 123 live viewers because she's an influencer, and most of her audience is on Facebook. Now, I wrote Facebook influencer, but she's not like a Facebook expert. They're both more like business experts, but they're on Facebook more than they are on YouTube. Here's my point. You need to find people, guests that can be on your show, that have influence somewhere. Either they have an email list that they can email. And if they're not willing to email their list, tell about the show, like, that's a tough one. Because it's hard to be like, hey, I'll have you on the show if you email your list. It's easier when you sort of write out an email. Anyway, we'll get into all that later. You give them what they need to promote the show. But invite guests that are bigger than you. That's my point. Invite guests where if they said no, it would hurt your feelings. Invite guests where you get a little scared, just the thought of inviting them. I'll tell you guys, I try to say yes to almost every show. Okay. I try to. I can't always. There's a show right now that I'd really like to do for a newer creator, and I just want to give his show publicity, but it's on a day where I just can't. I can't do that day, So these are the challenging parts of finding guests. But I want you to find guests that are bigger than you, that can bring audience to your show. Now, the Eagle is asking a great question. He says, hey, what are you using to stream today? Super glad you asked. I'm using Restream. And you can go check out Restream and all of their fantastic features when you go to epiclivevideo.com. Appreciate that, Eagle. It's a perfect little promo drop. Okay, so we're talking about guests. Let's go back to our guests. So you want to find the right guests that are a little bit intimidating, and you need to know about this new feature. Oh my gosh, game changer, okay? Because it would be like easier. It's just, let me just tell you about the new feature. I can't even tell you. This new feature is called Pairs, and it's absolutely fantastic. With one click, your guest can stream your show directly from their channels and pages. That's it. It's so simple. You don't have to add anyone to be a manager. You don't have to give anyone any kind of access. There's no passwords. There's no approvals needed. It's one click, and it's called Pairs. And all you do, if you can see over here, you just turn on Pairs by turning on that toggle. And then when you do, that link above will become activated. And when you share that link with your guest, it'll set the whole show up as if they are streaming themselves. So it's fantastic. It's kind of like a watch party. Katie Simpson is saying a few of us are having Restream Pairs party tomorrow. I love that. In fact, who wants to do a Pairs party? Write party in the comment section, and maybe we could try to pair a bunch of us together, and we'll do some Pairs party. Magic Flying Potato is saying, I get scared just joining big influencers on a live stream because I am no one compared to them. First of all, I get why you're saying that. Second of all, they probably don't see it that way. I know some do, and maybe some should, but most don't. Most creators that have made it to a certain point, or influencers, they want to give back. So what you're dealing with, Magic Flying Potato, is what we all deal with. And it's a self-value and self-worth. But remember, you want to get where they are, and somebody helped them get there too. I would take that step in faith that nobody's thinking of you in terms of who's this small potato, right? They're thinking you in terms of, how can I help this small creator out? I know that my friends, Nick Nimmin, Daniel Batal, Andrew Can, I know Brian G. Johnson, I know that that's how we think about it, okay? So Pairs is this amazing feature, and you should all definitely be checking it out. I can't, Carlos, find out how to get this off the screen. If you could just do that for me, that would be great. So again, you want to invite guests, but you want to, your guest invites should be strategic. You should leverage the pair feature and get more people on your show. I would love to see that happen more, for you guys, is like finding guests for your show and then measuring how many new, like, this is why you track it, right? Because you have a tracker now. Hey, Savvy Turtle, good to see you. So you track it, and then you say, okay, the solo shows got 30 viewers. The guests got 40 viewers. I need to find more. I need to find guests. Maybe do guests once a month or twice a month, right? Don't overwhelm yourself. But then take a look at what types of guests actually bring you in. Nikki Radford is saying my iPad is too old. Hey, I've got a too old iPad. There's no such thing as too old. There's no such thing as too old. It's only planned obsolescence. They gave your iPad a time limit where you were going to have to buy a new one, and that's just the way the cookie crumbles with Apple. Okay, let's keep moving. So the next one is change your format. Oh, this is a good one, because we run into an issue all the time. Carlos, be ready to play the green screen version. We run into a thing all the time where our audience looks at our thumbnails, they look at our video, that Owen, this is why I've been on this camera most of the time, is because my audience has seen this a lot. So I'm just trying to like keep it fresh, keep it new, okay? And we've got some great questions coming up that I want to get to in a second, but you've got to be sure that you're switching up your show. Now, you can't do it in a different place every time. Curiosity Theory, great to see you. Wish I saw more of you. You're not in a different place every time, but you just switch it up every now and then. Roberto Blake does a good job. Let's go to Carlos. Let's go to a clip of changing it up. So you guys are used to seeing like the talk show version, but every now and then we'll change it up, and this got us over 100 and 102 viewers, something like that. Let's play the clip. Hey, I'm going to show you the best audio gear that you should be getting for your Facebook live stream presentations
no matter what workflow you might have. So whether you're using a laptop or a desktop or a mobile device, I'm going to run through a variety of different setups.
That was good. That was good. But you guys saw it, right? You guys saw like the green screen and then behind me, which was new at the time. And then you saw the close up of my hand. You know, we did a lot of new stuff on that show. And by changing the format, let's take a look here. By changing the format, boom. Where is it here? 104 best audio setup. It's the fourth yellow highlight. 104 peak live viewers on that show. So yeah, Savvy Turtle is saying Owen with hair, vintage. I love it. No, I did not have hair in that photo. I was overweight. I was growing cancer, and I had less hair. I actually have more hair now because I'm eating and living a healthier lifestyle. But change up your format every now and then. Now, I wrote this specifically for some of you out there where I've seen your shows and they're good. You have good shows. Like most of you out there are very talented. Most of you. If you're untalented, I don't know who you are, right? I don't know which ones you are because you guys are all so talented. But if you're in front of the same thing every time, then change it up. Try something new. Go live from your mobile device, right? Play with it and see what you come up with. Okay, so that's my big point. There is change your format, switch it up every now and then to show your audience that you're an innovator, right? And finally, tip number 7. Are you guys ready? Are you guys ready for the big tip? If you're ready, say ready in the comment section right now. I got to see it. Yes, Savvy, I did see the reload page notification. You know, probably because we deleted a comment. And, you know, here's the thing about deleting comments. Nobody has the right to vomit on your live stream. There's this thing where like people are like, oh, authenticity, I got to leave it. Absolutely not. When some know-nothing nobody shows up simply to distract you, you ignore them out of existence and you delete the fact that they ever existed in the first place. You understand? If you guys, when you guys get sort of that, the trolls and stuff, you delete and move on. You really do. You know, I believe in deleting because I think that you're building this beautiful thing, this live stream thing that you're building, and nobody has room to graffiti on it. Okay. Savvy Turtle, Dave Keys, the Eagle, Nikki Radford, Katie Simpson, and Chris is ready. Okay, here we go. Ready? Our big final tip for the day is write better hooks. Oh, man. Most people will exit your show in the very beginning. So you have a great comment, or excuse me, you have a great title. You have a guest who's inviting people on. You've got all these people logging in, but then you log in and you're like, hang on. We're going to get started in just a minute. If you guys could just hang on for a second. Right? You get my point. And it's just awkward, right? You need to have a strong, powerful opening. Now, you can take a breath. You guys know I'm big on hooks. And what we're doing, the hooks that we're doing on this show now are different than the hooks we did in the past. And we want to keep trying different things to see what's going to keep people watching. But I want people to log in and like what they're seeing. They like what they're seeing. What happens is, Magic Flying Potato, I love it. People log in and you're boring them and they log off. And that triggers to the algorithm not to share your video in the news feed. So you need to retain those viewers. And you can do that by writing better hooks. Carlos and I grabbed 2 examples of great hooks. Jim, this goes back to the crickets. Let's go ahead and play that, and then we'll wrap up for today. So go ahead and play those hooks, Mr. Carlos. Facebook live stream full of crickets? I mean, your content is good, your camera is working, but for some reason, your audience is just silent. How do you break the barrier on Facebook Live to create massive engagement on your live streams that causes your viewers to comment, like, and share? So that's one. Here's another one. Dynamic image helping you to capture the mind of your target audience. Oh, happy Halloween to all of our friends in the US. Now, in 2018, our social media scientist Scott Ayers did a study that found that carousel ads simply do not perform well in the Instagram newsfeed. But maybe the world wasn't yet ready. Will carousel ads perform better in 2019? Well, our social media scientist Scott Ayers dug into that subject deep and made some fascinating discoveries. Join us today as we investigate, do carousel posts perform better in 2000? And there we go. This is another example of how to do hooks. So notice I was using sort of the PowerPoint screen behind me. And I think it's an advantage. I mean, anybody of you, Ed Weinberg knows you can go buy a TV at Costco for $200 and get that behind you. I'm sort of like screened out here. I've got a screen back here. I think it's the same screen actually, as you just saw. But also just being able to put together that PowerPoint every week so that when you log in, you're watching something engaging has been, very, very important. So, be sure to, write better hooks as you're developing for your show. And you might say, what's a better hook? I would start with this. Do something different for starters. Do something different, right? So whatever you're doing now, do something different. What makes a better hook? The ones that retain your audience. I think that I'm really like big on this, right? Well, what works? The one that works. Right? I try not to be too emotionally committed to anything that I'm doing, any art that I'm making, if it doesn't work. Like my goal is not to repel. I think there's some people, Chris, maybe you could disagree with me. There are people in the art world that want you to be repulsed by their work, right? They want you to be repulsed by it. That's not me. I want my work to better and I want to enhance people, to enhance their lives, make their lives better. So I want you to like it. Now, if you don't like it, am I crying myself to sleep? No. But you should be making hooks that your audience likes, and they express that like by staying logged in, right? I'm going to do it because I like it, or I'm going to do it whether they like it or not. I don't share that attitude. I have more of an attitude that's like, what will my audience best enjoy, and then how can I do that more? Okay. So let's go to some of your questions. But first, Savvy Turtle is saying 27th day on the keto diet. I feel less nauseous, more energy, but I like it. Well, Air 5 to you, my friend. For those of you guys that don't know, I'm an active keto vegan. I do vlog about it, and it's how we're fighting cancer. So I love that you're doing that. Okay. SFS Eagle is asking, what Stream Deck am I using? Okay, so what do you mean? Stream Deck is actually like saying, I don't know, like Google, right? It's search. So what, I don't know, what is this called? Mixer, I guess. Maybe I will call it a Stream Deck from now on. This is called an X Keys, and there's another brand called Stream Deck, and I love them both. I love this for its simplicity. I love the Stream Deck for its, how it's digital. This is all written in paper. I prefer the digital form. But this is an X Keys. It's 84 keys, and I do love it. It's a little bit much. I have never once had all the keys, but this allows me to play sound effects. I have so many sound effects, I've forgotten what half of them are. But I can use this to, pop that up, right? Skip ahead to the 10-minute mark. My countdown, we do a countdown in the beginning. See if I could find that is right there. So all of that happens. I switch my cameras back and forth using the X Keys. And it's a phenomenal piece of technology. Works perfectly with Restream. What other questions do we have in there? A lot of our questions are off topic. Let me go to Halo Smith. I like this question. Halo Smith is saying, how are you a keto vegan? So I love that you asked it, Halo, because it means you know what keto and vegan mean. And it is incredibly difficult. Like, there's no doubt about it. But I am a stage 4 cancer thriver, not a survivor. Okay, I'm a cancer thriver. I have cancer right now that's trying to kill me, but I'm killing it. I'm killing them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-ish tumors in my chest. They are shrinking every single month. I want you guys to know this. That's why I'm talking about it. I'm talking about it because look at me. Like, don't I look strong and healthy? I haven't lost my hair because I'm fighting cancer with metabolic cancer therapy. And part of that is the keto vegan diet. So yeah, it's hard. It's tough. I splurge on the weekends for like a day and a half, but for the most part, I eat like artichokes, avocados. And we have a whole YouTube channel. You guys can go to beatcancerwithme.com and see the new cancer content that we're working on. Heidi Loney is saying, I want to be a pescatarian, a keto eater. Pescatarian is great. Like, I certainly, again, I am all about these like modified eating schedules. Like, I am not in this place where it's like, oh, you got to be a keto vegan or you got to be a vegan this. And I've had people tell me that. I have had people say, you got cancer because you're not a vegan. And they didn't say it like that. Halo Smith says, I'm vegan, but not keto, and I applaud you for that. Whether you avoid meat for health reasons or for moral reasons, I think that it's wonderful to see people have standards and then live by those standards. It's so easy to virtue signal in our culture today and say, oh, I'm all about this, and then live a completely opposite life. You know what I mean? So I love that you're vegan, but not keto. I think if you want to be pescatarian keto, great, Heidi, you could do it. You guys can ask me any questions. You can go to beatcancerwithme.com to learn more about how I have diet plans and meal plans and all sorts of wonderful stuff. So Jim asked a question. Jim is saying, I want to know how you use Restream to create the slides where you remove parts at one point. So I think he means like this kind of stuff. Let's see if I can show it again. Where that kind of like comes on and goes off. Well, all of that is done in PowerPoint. I'm actually using a PowerPoint slide. And then I share my PowerPoint screen and connect to it with my X keys. It's all very simple. And if you guys would like tutorials on how to do this, subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's like owenvideo.com/YouTube. We have all of that stuff coming out. We have like how to set up a home studio. We have take a look at my home studio. These are going to be like shorter. It's not going to be a live stream. It's going to be a longer video. So we're going to put them on my YouTube channel about all the different things that I need. So is there anything else you guys want to talk about right now? Otherwise, we'll cut the show. We just have peak viewership right now. So like, I hate to log off. I want to keep the peak viewers logging on and staying with us. The Jedi Master has spoken. I got to go on the Star Wars ride at Disneyland, and it was epic. It was like, guys, even if you're not a Disneyland fan, entertainment is going in this direction. Like, we're going to see this kind of thing at restaurants and bars where you sit down and, you're served by a movie star waiter who, all these different things. It's going to be insane, but there's this part where you get off, like the ride pulls you into this one place and the door opens and there's 100 stormtroopers in front of you. It's absolutely epic. We got a great question. Let's go to some of these questions in here. SF Eagle is saying, Carlos, you just want to put them up? Here's this one. EpicLiveVideo.com. EpicLiveVideo.com. That's how you go get Restream. Get started for free. And then when you do, we'll actually, you'll be entered into a drawing to win a free microphone. So that's the best website is EpicLiveVideo.com. Would be great. Great questions. Let's go with them. Does Restream chat work with Facebook Live? Yes, and it works better than any chat that we have ever used. You know, I've started in this game before chat was even a thing. You know what I mean? Like you'd have to like integrate a separate app and then embed your live stream into your WordPress. It's like this whole thing. But Restream Chat works with Facebook Live and it works simultaneously with YouTube and Twitter. So if somebody's commenting on Twitter, it'll show up here and you can respond to them from here as well. So you'll actually see in some comments, when Carlos responds, it'll respond on all platforms. But then on other comments, it'll only go to or it'll go to all the platforms, and that's a pretty cool feature as well. So Restream Chat works not only in the software, but they also give you an external link that you can use for OBS if you want to embed it a different way as well. If you're more techie, it's a phenomenal feature. So great question. Curiosity Theory is saying, changing my background is a good idea. Yeah, you know, for you, bro, because we've known each other a long time, I haven't seen your show in a while, but here's my advice. If you're in the same place every time, change it. Like even most of the time, change it. Go buy a curtain. Go buy. I even have you know, different things that I like, different images that I put, backdrops. Change it. Just show your audience that you're changing, that you're growing. You can also add plants, add TVs, do a stream from another room in the house. Find another room to stream from. All of these are phenomenal ideas. So yeah, changing your background is a good idea. But if you're in a different place all the time, like if it's always you logging in from somewhere, then you may want to just like get into one background and just be there all the time. Okay. That's the big thing. Like you have to create consistency in order to break consistency. But it's a good question. It's good to have you here. Okay, we got time for a couple more questions and then we got to go. How to get full screen on Restream? You got to use what I use, which is you share your screen using vMix or a broadcaster. Okay, so when I share my screen, it's a full screen. If I do that on Restream, like what it does is it shows faces and it can't go full screen. So you need to share your screen using vMix or a broadcaster. SFS Eagle is asking another great question. Will Restream work on Google Chrome on mobile? Yes, it does. And it works great on mobile. In fact, we did a whole stream from mobile. Now, you can't build the stream on mobile. You can't start on mobile. You have to start on a desktop, but then you can start interviewing people on mobile, and it works just fine. So yes, you can do it. Nikki Radford is saying, "Love you, Owen. Give my best to Teresa. So good to see you." Okay, last question: is there a system in place to report and deal with trolls? You know, it's your own heart, man. Like that's where it is. Trolls are going to do what trolls are going to do, just like tyrants are going to do what tyrants are going to do. Liars are going to do what liars are going to do. What changes is how we feel about it, how we react to it. You know what I mean? Like, so, I mean, you can always report a troll. So what? So you know, a little slap on the wrist, or they get their account deleted. They start a new account and they harass someone else. I would rather that you guys find a way in your heart to deal with trolls. And I mean that because it's annoying, right? It's annoying. It's rude. You know what I mean? It's all, and it makes you feel bad, you know, impulsively. But I want all of that is trained and learned behavior. You know, what I want all of us to do as a community is work on, like, I see a bad comment and it's more like what I go through is like that poor person, right? Like what's going on in their day to where like they feel the need to do that. I tend to see them as someone without a lot of family support, not a lot of self-confidence. And I start to feel like a little bit of pity for them. You know what I mean? Like, man, that sucks that your life is so crappy that you have to come and harass people to feel good about yourself, to get your own serotonin burst. So what I try to do is actually have a little empathy. Like, man, that sucks that their life sucks so bad. But then I have to remember who I am, and I'm a fantastic live streamer. I have a fantastic track record. That's why I've been able to do all the fun things that I've been able to do. And none of that was because of this troll. This troll didn't do anything to help me get that, to help me do that, to help me like that. And so why would I let that grain of sand have any impact in my life? You know, and that's the thing, is then trolls, like they tend, it becomes more funny. In fact, we should have a thing when a troll pops up. We should have a thing that where we all just say troll in the comment section. I'll do it for you and you do it for me. We got to go, but I hope that was helpful for you guys today. Great stream. Thanks for being here with us. And don't forget to get your free trial over at Restream. I'm Owen Video, guys. I'll see you in the next episode.